let's learn how to make a visual journal page part 2 with Ms. Boley.
Why are we doing this? We're trying to refine and improve our drawing skills, and we're also trying to learn how to document and organize visual information and observations in our visual journals. We're basically learning how to effectively use our visual journals.
Remember last time we went to an outdoor location and we did some sketching of 3 to 5 things that were important to that location. So I was drawing in my backyard, and this is what I ended up with at the end of the last video. So you can see some light pencil sketches of 3 to 5 important things. So now we're going to add some color and shading. So you will need your sketched page from earlier, a pencil and an eraser, some colors that could be pencil crayons or markers, and it is really helpful to have a fine liner, Sharpie marker, or other type of marker. If you don't have that yet, it's all good. You could even use a ballpoint pen if you needed to. Okay, before we get started, I wanted to quickly do some demonstrations of some different ways of using pencil crayons. So what I've just done is probably your usual way of using pencil crayons. So just kind of moving the pencil crayon back and forth in one direction on your sheet of paper. And that's totally fine, but you can also layer your pencil crayons, and that can allow you to create shadows. So I'm using a darker green here and I'm layering it on top of the lighter green. And then I'm going to go back in with the lighter green to make the pencil crayons blend together. So what I'm doing is layering and blending. So keep in mind that pencil crayons can be layered and they can be blended. And then I'm sure you've seen me do this before at some point, but there's also ways that you can make marks with your pencil crayon. So I've done some hatching, which is where we just do lines in one direction and there's spaces in between. And then there's something called X hatching, which is where I'm just making small little X's back and forth kind of. Which is a really good way to be able to blend your pencil crayon. And then cross hatching is where I make lines going in one direction diagonally and then in another direction diagonally. And then scribble textures, where I make some small sort of circular motions with my pencil crayon. So you don't just need to do your typical side-to-side motion for coloring. Try to include some of those other techniques as you are doing your visual journal coloring and shading. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding color to the leaf and to some areas on my visual journal. So I've done some layering and blending with pencil crayon, and then I'm going in with some marker and getting that leaf looking how I would like it. And same with that strawberry leaf down there at the bottom. And I don't want you to add color to everything in your on your page, just some of the things. Maybe you're going to do something that's important, like an important way to remember that item, or it's important to know what color something was, so you'll add color. Like for example, the garden statue, the hat is red, and that's kind of one important part of that statue I felt, so I colored just that area. And then for the remainder of my page, I'm just going to use my Sharpie, both my regular Sharpie and my fine liner Sharpie, and I'm going to add outlines to the things on my page. And this is important because it kind of helps you to take that rough sketch that you did and add some detail and some refinement. I know I keep saying that word. You make it sort of more accurate when you outline it. Because when you're sketching, you often draw multiple lines, and the fine liner just outlines only one of those lines. Okay, so I'm using a combination of my fine tip and my regular Sharpie marker to kind of go over. And I'm also doing some hatching marks with my Sharpie marker to add some shadows. And I am adding color to some of the important areas on my page. I've added some labels and a border, and here is my final, how my page turned out. So now it's your turn. Grab your page from earlier and add some color and or shading to some of the sketches on your page. You should have around 3 to 5 areas that you've added color to. Then I would like you to use an outliner, either a Sharpie marker or a ballpoint pen, or even just using your pencil and pressing with a little bit darker pressure to refine and outline your drawing and add some detail. Please make sure that you have a title, you've outlined your title, and you've labeled your drawings with the outliner marker. And then ensure that you have added a date. All right, thanks for watching, and I cannot wait to see your visual journal pages.